Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of our District Collector, Attorney Ricardo Morales, I am proud to present to you the Port of Subic updates on Bureau of Customs initiatives related to the streamlining programs and particularly to the trade facilitation, to enhance the trade facilitation, particularly within the logistics industry. It's so difficult to follow a lecture from a master and so forth the field from USEC because she has the plenary authority to share with you everything that she knows about the DTI and the programs. Mine is different because I'm stuck with the narrative. Since it's a delegated authority given to me by my district collector, I have to simply share to you the narratives prepared by the competent people from the Bureau of Customs. And these are technical matters that I myself is still learning. This is my first time to be assigned outport and to be part of the operations. As I had mentioned a while ago, I used to be the Assistant Chief of Staff, so my work then was just to review everything for the Commissioner. And then as a lawyer, being part of the Batas, it's not, difficult on my part because I've been practicing for almost 14 years before I joined the Bureau of Customs and even the Office of the President. So just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, because these are technical matters that cannot be articulated using my native talent. So basically, I have to look into the narratives because these are things that I cannot also articulate except that I know the concept of all of this. Now, again, our commitment in the Bureau of Customs to streamlining processes and fortifying border security has driven the implementation of various programs and policies. And mind you, each is designed to optimize efficiency and ensure the integrity of trade operations as being advocated by our very gorgeous Undersecretary. Can I just, next slide, please? Right. Now, what I'm going to present to you are just critical, or I say relevant programs, policies, and systems related to the topic this afternoon. Now, when we had a discussion on what to present, of course, again, this is not my personal take about. Actually, when I read the narratives of this presentation, I streamlined because it's supposed to be how many pages. But I said we have only to discuss about the relevant systems and programs related to what we are discussing this afternoon. And so what I'm going to present to you are those programs, policies, and practices or systems that have been implemented and still being implemented and will be implemented in the next third and fourth quarters and even the next year. Next. All right. Now, I have seen the good people of the SBMA a while ago and even right now. The Port of Subic and the SBMA recognize the significance of establishing a seamless and transparent systems that encourages business growth, attracts investments, and contributes to economic development in the region. And that is the reason why the Port of Subic utilizes the link systems. And these are the link systems that we are actually taking advantage with the SBMA. We have this gate pass management system, the automated export declaration system, and so on and so forth. Now, you have to understand that unlike in any other port, the Port of Subic is very unique, just like the Port of Clark, because we are governed by the law that created the SBMA and the basis conversion, something to that effect, and that we cannot do on our own, unlike in other customs territory, because we are bound by the policies of the SBMA, and we do respect that. In fact, that is a good thing because it's not only the BOC that is looking at all of this, but at the same time, there is another agency, the government, independent to that effect, looking also on this, and that is the SBMA. Next slide. We are proud to tell you that we have implemented this customer care center. It's a one-stop shop office serving as the focal point for all customs-related inquiries, both walk-in and online. So if you'd like to transact business with the BOC, you can go with the CCC, and then there are beautiful and gorgeous people to entertain you, to cater to your demands, and everything is systematized or automated. Again, this is part of our effort to ease the business, okay, part of ease of doing business, and there is also the policy in the part of the Bureau of Customs, which is what you call the zero contact policy. And the reason for that is to, diminish or to avoid a face-to-face transaction with our stakeholders, because that is actually the reason why there is corruption. I know that that is the impression coming from the public, from the Bureau of Customs, but I'd like to tell you that the reason why we're doing all of these programs because we wanted to eradicate this corruption matter. Next slide. All right. I'll turn my page, the next. All right. Just like what we have discussed and all of the speakers ahead of me, the streamlining program of the Bureau of Customs is centered on the modernization and digitalization of its processes. So far, the Port of Subic is implementing those relevant information and communication technology. And we are proud to tell you, I don't know if this is a correct number, that 97% has already, 97% has already been digitalized or modernized, or to say automated. Okay, I heard it's 98% from our Assistant Commissioner. But just to tell you that we are doing all of this because this is part of the conversation between the BOC and the stakeholders. And this is actually the product of that discussion or conversation. How are we going to help you? And this, the modernization aspect. Next slide. Now, I don't know if you are in the trucking business or transport business. This is something that we have done already, the e-track system. When it's a system how we monitor the movement of the goods, cargoes, to prevent delays, at the same time to prevent any corruption. The reason is that in the previous years, this has been part of the smuggling activity that we want to prevent. So this time, when your truck is having this e-track in that particular transport, then you cannot deviate your direction from one destination to another because there is an alarm. If your destination is the Port of Clark from the Subic, you cannot go to Zambales, you cannot go to any other place because there will be a specific action taken, the consequences to be imposed. So it's already being implemented. Another innovation from the Bureau of Customs is the inventory management system. This is something that I am not very much particular. This one offers a comprehensive solution for monitoring the status of imported goods throughout their journey, from transfer to storage and eventual withdrawal. So again, this is part of the improving the operational efficiency and the productivity in the logistics industry. This because it streamlines the inventory management processes. Now, to address the challenge of overstaying cargo and containers at ports, the BOC also introduced the overstaying cargo tracking system, the OS tracker. So again, this is founded on transparency, accountability in handling those cargoes. And good point, both from the side of the BOC and from the business side. It facilitates informed decision-making by generating customized reports as needed. So part of the effective management and oversight of cargo-related activities. Now, these systems benefit as I've mentioned, BOC and the stakeholders regarding trade facilitation. I think cannot overemphasize this particular system for those who have already been using this one. By the way, I'd like to recognize our district collector, the Port of Clark, Attorney Dino. He's an expert actually, so soon there will be a question and answer. He will be the one to answer everything. All right. Next slide, please. All right. This is part of the AOCG. Now, this is to further promote the trade facilitation. So the BOC implemented the Authorized Economic Operator Program. It offers a trade clearance system and cargo security system to minimize customs border intervention. Okay? Just like to tell you that so far, right now, currently, the Sony Philippines Incorporated was granted Level 1 accreditation, while Panasonic Manufacturing Philippines Corporation and Toyota Motor Philippines achieved Level 2 accreditation. The Coca-Cola, our favorite beverage, is currently in the process of obtaining Level 2 accreditation. Now, it ensures the integrity and security of imported goods and fosters a culture of compliance. Compliance coming from the operator, at the same time, compliance on the part of the Bureau of Customs. Next slide. If you can still remember during the pandemic, it was so difficult for the Bureau of Customs to transact business, particularly from the stakeholders and everyone. So we have this online filing of goods declaration. During the pandemic, this was a system that was implemented by the Bureau of Customs, right? Next slide, please. Right, the online payment system. This one has been mentioned by our very good Undersecretary in terms of digital wallet and the payment and everything. So I would like to just share with you a portion of the narrative that the Bureau of Customs fully implemented the Philippine Clearinghouse Corporation Payment Application Secure System version 6.0 or the past 6. I don't know if you are aware of this. It's being integrated in the E2M system. This system, to tell you, allows 24/7 processing of payments for stakeholders transacting through selected banks. Now, there's mention of a Security Bank, Land Bank, Asia United Bank, Metropolitan Bank, and Trust Company, which caters around-the-clock payment service. And this can be accessed at the comfort of your office of your home. So, part of modernization again. And we are trying to make sure that there will be other banks that will be part of this system. Now, in addition to past 6, the Bureau of Customs has implemented an alternative prepayment system, or BPS, for paying duties, taxes, and other charges. Now, prepayment in the sense that you already pay in advance before you lodge your declarations, before your goods arrive. So it's just being debited from that particular account. So it's an easy way of transacting because instead of looking at another bank and the bank is closed, here is a prepayment system that we are trying to implement. Again, there's also this online payment through PayMaya. I don't know if I correctly pronounce it. Wherein the stakeholders may open a ticket through a customer care portal system using the help topic. So order payment, PayMaya. Okay, upon successful creation of the ticket, it will be automatically routed to the accounts management's office. So other than the banks, we have also these digital wallets available for everyone to use for purposes of payment. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, this is part of the collaborative effort of the Bureau of Customs with the other agencies of the government, only the DTI, the SBMA, and the LTO. So we recognize that there is a need for strategic partners, okay, as part of what we call the participatory governance, okay. Now, recognizing the significant role the Postal Office is handling e-commerce shipments, the BOC forged a strategic partnership with the Philippine Postal Corporation. So we have a process here of mail items going through the Philippine Postal, and this one actually solidifies our effort to help those sending goods or items with the Philippine Postal. Next slide, please. All right. There's also a memorandum of understanding that the BOC entered with the Department of Information and Communications Technology. And by aligning systems and applications, the BOC and the DTI aim to promote integration, the interoperability, as being emphasized by our USEC, and interconnection, thereby optimizing customs processes, improving data sharing, and enhancing trade facilitation and border security. So it's the keyword is streamlining, trade facilitation, and everything, right? Next slide, please. We also partnered with the Association of International Shipping Lines, which is also part of the strong partner of the BOC, even in the CCAC that we have just, implemented. Next slide, please. Okay. Of course, part of the BOC's effort is also not only to the SBMA, but also with the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. So there is a need for us to collaborate closely with the PEZA. Again, the reason being is, again, to have this streamlined customs procedure for business operating within the economic zones. Right. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, right, there is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, wherein the Philippines entered, the last one who entered, the last country that ratified this commitment, I think the Philippines and the Cambodia. So we are already implementing this. This would, for us to be able to obtain the preferential tariff treatment, and there are 15 members. So if we are going to avail of this, then we should know from where our importations, our goods are coming, okay, and even part of the exportation that we are doing. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, this is where I come in already. My picture is there. Even in the Port of Clark, do we have this, what we call the Customs Industry Consultative Advisory Council, CICAC. This has been created by Customs Memorandum Order number 02-2024. It's actually a platform for conversation. So every now and then we call our partners, stakeholders, to come into a meeting. And the reason is that we want to learn from them. We want to hear from them. We want to make sure that our services from the Bureau of Customs are acceptable, reasonable, and the continuing conversation is again part of what we call the participatory governance. We wanted that our services be aligned with the needs of our stakeholders, because the problem here is that even if we come up with the policy and it's not responsive with the demands of the stakeholders, there is what you call misalignment or miscommunication. There is a gap. We want to fill that gap. Okay, so this is a very, very, I would say, innovative way of looking at what our stakeholders feel about the services of the Bureau of Customs. And for us, we wanted also our stakeholders, our partners, to tell everyone what we are doing, because it's not most of the time that we have this opportunity to tell you, to share with you our programs. So seldom do we have this great opportunity, and we'd like to thank the organizers of this one, that we are sharing all of these programs. Next slide. Well, these are orders. We have the customs administrative orders and the customs CMOs, I cannot recall anymore, okay, the customs memorandum order, I should say. These are matters that are related insofar as to the logistics industry. So if you wanted to learn about this, details of this, these are downloadable COWs and CMOs. And it's a lengthy, actually, orders, but hopefully we can understand if we are going to give time to this. Right. Next slide, please. Now, for third week and fourth week of this year, we are looking forward to implementing new systems or policies bureau-wide, not only the Port of Subic, not only the Port of Clark, but bureau-wide. And it's now being tested, piloted, and hopefully this will be implemented soon. Okay, the automated export declaration system. Okay, this is actually an collaboration with the SBNA in terms of exportation, and of course with the PEZA also. So we are doing this because we want to migrate, to have a migration of the AADS to the E2M system. Right now, we have the AADS, but there is no risk management system that is embedded. If you are going through the E2M, we already have that risk management. So the reason why you have the red, you have the green, the yellow, the orange, the red. I don't know if you have the blue also, the blue lane. Okay? No, just the blue lane. So it's very important for purposes of the national security, border protection, that the AADS that is being implemented in the exportation process should be part of the E2M system that can detect, can check whether your shipment going out is yellow, green, orange, or red. We also have the customs auction monitoring system. If you want to bid part of the auction, it's gonna be online. Unlike before, when we do the bidding, it's face-to-face transaction. But when you have this online, even part of your letter of intent to join the auction, then it can be online also. You also have the BOC ePay portal, okay? This one, as I mentioned a while ago, this is an online application for online payments of miscellaneous fees using credit cards, debit cards, and authorized digital wallets. So, unlike the past 6, when you have the banks, this one, you can use your credit cards for purpose of transacting business. Okay, next slide. The accreditation portal system, the AMO system, you know about the accreditation of the importers, the brokers, unlike the exporters, which are in, it's the DTI aspect. We also have an online system of accreditation now through this system. Wherein no more, gone are the days when you're going to submit hard copies of all of your documents. So we are going to have a complete digitization of this particular process. We also have the enhanced electronic certificate of payment. Usually when we do the collaboration with the land registration, land transportation office, LTO, for vehicles being imported, you have the certificate of payment. But this one, there is already an automated system. We are interlinked, or there is an interoperability system with the LTO so that we be able to transact business faster and to avoid, the manual way of doing the certificate of payment. Okay. Next slide. Okay, the enterprise ticketing solution. A while ago, I have mentioned about the CCC, the Customer Care Center. This is an evolution of that particular system because we wanted to improve insofar as our system in the CCC, right? So very critical that we change the interface, okay? It's friendly user system for everyone, okay? Next slide. The new informal entry system for e-commerce, okay? Now, for value, for importation valued under 50,000 pesos, there is a system, okay? So it's gonna be an easy part on all of us if you use this kind of automated system that we are espousing. Again, it's not been implemented, 3rd week or 4th week of this year. Next slide. When I was in the MICP, the ORLS, okay, the online release system, OLRS, has already been implemented by the ICTSI. In so far as the Port of Subic, we are to implement this, okay? This is simply what you call a transmission online of our directive or instruction from the Bureau of Customs that you can now release the goods. Unlike before, when you do the manual sending of instruction, this one is an online system. You transmit, you instruct, let us say, the SBTSI, the terminal, that you can now release the goods because they have already been paid so far as the Bureau of Customs, right? Next. Digital and integrated system for electronic invoicing. Now, this is very critical because only this morning I was able to read this through Google, right? So I have to look at this because this is an innovation also in software as how we deal business, international and when going to the Philippines. It is covered by Administrative Order number 23, series of 2024. Allow me just to read the narrative. Okay. The government will implement a digital and integrated system for pre-border technical verification and cross-border electronic invoicing of all imported commodities to speed up inspections and keep out unsafe products. Now, what's the role of the BOC in this particular matter? The BOC will be the primary organization or agency to roll out this particular program. Now, based on that administrative order that was signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, there will be a single invoicing system controlled by the Philippines, which is necessary to effectively monitor international trade transactions of all imported goods. So this is a very good innovation and an arrangement in terms of how we do business, not only here in the Philippines, but outside. So there will be a committee created, chaired by the DOF Secretary, and we have also secretaries coming from the Trade and Industry, from the Energy, Health, Environment, and Natural Resources, the DTI, the Commissioner of Bureau of Customs is highlighted here, and the Director General of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and 2 non-voting representatives from the industry associations. So hopefully, coming from this group will be the 2 representatives, right? It's very critical that you be part of this particular committee to come up with the implementing rules and regulations. And there will be 3 phases for the implementation, as I already mentioned. Phase 1 will cover agricultural goods. Phase 2 will focus on non-agricultural items with health and safety concerns. And Phase 3 will target other goods with misdeclarations to avoid duties and taxes. So you can just imagine, it would be easy for us to do the transaction if the verification is already done. Before it reaches the Philippine shores, there's already an invoice, an electronic invoice that we can look at. And I was talking to Sir Bautista a while ago. He's trying to advocate that not to include the values of the goods, but only in terms of the technical specifications or the description. So we really appreciate this kind of people helping the Bureau of Customs come up with good policies. So that would be the next slide. And the last slide, yes. If you have any questions, you can visit our website, the numbers, we have your address, and you have me as well, though I am not an expert in the IT, but I can help you at least explain to you, articulate in certain matters. So, bound again by the narratives, the Bureau of Customs remains committed to its promise to enhance trade facilitation and security within the logistics industry. Through a comprehensive array of initiatives, we drive meaningful change and foster a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. So, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for this opportunity.